our ambition is global. And we're starting by working with one school in the US. Ron is almost a brother to me. Ron has taught me that we deeply underestimate the potential of all our children. And there's a lot, Ron is showing how much more we can do. Ron doesn't only want to improve the learning and the teaching in his school. He wants to convert America. And he's going to tell us how he's going to do that. We both have enormous ambition to improve the learning of children. He set out to prove what can be done. When I told Ron of what we were doing, he immediately brought across, for 2 days training, all his staff. He made the decision. And Ron is going to tell us about his experiences. He's the most amazing partner. Ron.
Thank you, Mr. Can. Thank you. Hey, everybody. I'm really excited to be here. When Mr. Can asked me to come, I was thrilled because I look forward to having the opportunity to be in a room with so many people who are like-minded, who care about education, who want to do whatever it takes to get kids to learn. So I'm excited to be here. Mr. Can is like a brother to me. We're very similar. We're crazy in that we both have these big dreams and things we want to accomplish. And I love how he's dedicated his life to making a difference in the lives of others. I think it's beautiful. And I also believe in revolution. I want every kid everywhere to be excited about learning, and I want them to be pushed. I want them to be challenged. My biggest fear is that one day I'm about to die, and on my deathbed I'm going to say to myself, well, I helped a lot of kids, but we couldn't change the system. We couldn't change education as a whole. We couldn't move it forward. I want to know that I lived during the time where our generation, bam, we really just took it, kind of went with it. And so that's what I want to accomplish, and that's what we do at our school. At our school, we're really different. We do teach with passion, innovation, and creativity, and we do try to challenge our students. Then we open our doors. And so every week, about 500 or 600 educators from all over America, and sometimes around the world, they come to our school, they watch our lessons and learn about our methods, and they take what we do back out to their schools. 50,000 educators have been so far, and we're now booked up through March. We can't meet the demand of people who want to come. We're trying to show people that education can be fun and exciting, but also that it can be rigorous. We feel like we have a dumbed-down education system in America. We traveled to all 50 states. We went to 300 schools, and it's just boring. In America, teaching is slow. We don't teach the gifted kids. We don't teach the average kids. We teach the kids who aren't achieving. There's no passion, there's no push in our schools. In most studies, if you look, America ranks about 29th to 45th in terms of test scores when you look at all developed countries around the world. And it's because we're not challenging kids. And we currently have a shortage of 60,000 teachers in America. And it's not that we can't find educators to put in classrooms, it's just the people that we're hiring aren't people you would want teaching your kids. It's not a teacher that you would want to have in your classroom. They ain't good. And so, and they didn't go to college to be a teacher, but they're just having to put a warm body in that classroom. And why that's happened is because it's all about teach to a test, it's boring, teachers don't get paid much, and in America, students disrespect teachers and parents disrespect teachers. And so what fifth grader is going to say, I want that to be my life's work. That looks like a job I want to do. And so we have a problem in that people aren't joining our profession. And so now we're 29th or 45th in the world, and your education system is the biggest indicator of where your country is going to be. We got the world's #1 economy, #1 military, #1 infrastructure, and then we're 29th to 45th in terms of our education system, and it concerns me. So that's why I wanted to have this revolution. When I first started teaching in 1994 in North Carolina, I sat in the parking lot and I told myself, Ron, you ain't gonna let these kids see you cry. You're gonna pull it together. And I went in there because it was rough. The kids weren't like y'all. The kids were very rude and very disrespectful, and it was a very hard, challenging environment. And so I went there and I said, well, the first thing I have to do is me. If you're gonna be a leader or a teacher, you gotta love it. If you love science or if you love history or math, that can kind of bleed out to the room. You've got to have that connection. And so I said, I got to go in there and be in a good mood. I said, Ron, you got to be in there anyway. If you got to be in there anyway, you might as well smile. You might as well be happy. And so I went in there with good energy. But then the most important thing I did was I made it rigorous. I made it so much harder than anyone thought I should have made it. And I just really challenged kids because I said, all we're doing is dumbing it down. Kids are having success, and we're praising them for having success in a dumbed down system. The more you expect, the more you're going to get. And so I made it really, really hard, and I had kids start to cry. And I had parents complain, and so I said, oh my goodness, I can't have this, I can't have this. And so that's when I said, on the other hand, I want to make it fun. Hands-on. I started wearing costumes. I started playing music. I was rapping my lessons. Now let's get down to some presidential learning. We'll start with George Washington, straight from Mount Vernon. The first president and commander-in-chief fought the Revolutionary War so we can be free. And then when we begin together, parentheses first now, please be clever. Exponents come right next in line. Then you multiply and divide at the same time. And so I started making it hands-on and exciting and fun. The kids would come in to do their math problem of the day. And so I blew these balloons up. I put a balloon on every desk. When the kids came in, they said, what are the balloons for? I said, it's for the math problem of the day. Come on. But you got to work it out with a magic marker on the balloon. If you get it right, you can pop the balloon. And so the kids came in, they started saying, we love the math problem of the day. So every day they wanted those balloons, and I was out of breath. But anyway, it was great because it was exciting. And so I finally got called into the principal's office, and the principal said, Ron, you have the highest test scores in the building. I love everything you're doing, but I got one favor to ask of you. I said, yes, ma'am, what is it? She said, can you close your door? I said, oh my goodness. I said, am I being too loud? She said, no, you're not being too loud, but you're ruffling some feathers because the other teachers are saying they don't want to teach like you're teaching. I got parents calling, demanding that I move their child into your classroom because your students get a different experience. The other teachers don't want to stand on desks and wrap lessons, and their kids are saying, why don't you teach like Mr. Clark? She said, Mr. Clark, you're being too showy. She said, I want you just to close your door, but you can teach like you're teaching because you're getting good results. I said, oh, yes, ma'am. I'm so sorry. I'll close my door. And so I closed my door, but it broke my heart because I don't want to end up dying and we didn't do something. Come on, y'all. If we're here, let's go for it. And so I said, I want to figure out a way to spread these ideas I'm coming up with. So after 5 years, I saw a TV show about schools in Harlem, in New York City. So I went up to Harlem and I tried my methods there. I was eventually named as the American Teacher of the Year because of the success that spread around New York City. And I got to be on the Oprah Winfrey show. And Oprah told me that I should write a book. And when somebody like Oprah Winfrey tells you to write the book, baby, you write the book. So I wrote this book about how I teach, and when it came out, Oprah Winfrey made it one of her book picks. I went on the show. She held the book up to the camera and said, America, I want you to go out right now and buy this book. And 1 hour after the show, it was #2 in the nation. And all the money from the book, it was right behind the Harry Potter book. You read that one? So it was there for 4 months, and all the money went into a foundation, and we used the money to buy an old nasty factory in downtown Atlanta. And that is the factory that slowly, in 2007, we bought it. We have turned into this amazing school where now people come from all over the world to see the school, to experience what we do, and we're trying to make education better. And that's why you can probably tell Mr. Ken and I have a lot in common because we both have like-minded goals, and he's got his goals and I have mine, and then they kind of bleed together. But I want to make teaching easier for teachers because I have a former student named Rabina that I taught in New York City. She's now a teacher in New York City as well. And she said every week, she's at one of the higher ranking schools in New York City, they have to do 3 assessments of the students, has to be graded, and she also has to give a participation grade every day for her kids. She teaches 120 kids a day. Now, she's doing it and she's young. She's like, oh, Mr. Clark, it's so much work, but I'm doing it, but I'm up late every night, da, da, da. And I'm like, she's going to leave the profession. We're going to lose her. And we're losing so many great teachers because the expectation is too much. And then she said, now they want me to differentiate all my lessons. And then I've got to have individual instruction for each kid to meet them at their needs. And so when I see something like that, I think, my gosh, Look what Mr. Can's doing. This is, it's the answer. You give individual instruction for every kid. It's rigorous, so you got those kids that are sitting there bored. No, level 4 questions, this is for you. It allows the teacher to have results and to give those assessments to see where the students are. It meets all the needs of the challenges that we have as educators. And it breaks my heart to think that there are so many teachers, great teachers in England, America, around the world, that if they had had this system to help them with the hard part, the paperwork and the monotony of education, if they had had that, those great teachers could have stayed, they could have been more excited, and they could still be teaching and affecting the lives of kids now. That's why I flew here today. I flew today because I wanted to share that message because we love it. My teachers at my school, I can hire whoever I want. Look, I get hundreds of applications every week from teachers who want to teach. Except I can't get Andy to move to Atlanta to teach with me. He's so incredible. But we can hire whoever we want. We have the best teachers in America. And when I'm telling you, they're the best, they're phenomenal, and they love LbQ. They love it, they use it, and they think it is something that's transforming not only the lives of our kids, but the lives of kids around our country and around kids in England. We're starting a capital campaign because we are building a new facility. And this new facility will allow us to train even more teachers, 150,000 over the next 10 years. Oprah Winfrey is the biggest sponsor of this big, huge facility. And as part of it, one of the wings is going to be an LbQ wing where we are going to be able to showcase this to all the educators that come every week and to spread it. It's a revolution. And so in closing, I just would love to show you this short little video which kind of shows you kind of a glimpse of how we use it and what we do with it in our school. Thank you, everybody. Oh, I'm supposed to press the button. At the Ron Clark Academy, we're all about passion, and we do all we can to put engaging strategies, excitement, and energy in our classrooms. And that's why each and every day, our teachers try to create dynamic experiences for our students so that they will truly love to learn. On the other hand, however, we believe in rigor, and we do all we can to expect the most of our students because we feel the more you expect, the more you're going to get. And that's why each and every day, we challenge our students to meet the highest possible standards of academic excellence. And that's why learning by questions is such a perfect fit for us at RCA, because it provides an exciting and even sometimes thrilling experience for our students, and at the same time, it gives us that exact challenge we want to see in each and every one of our classrooms for our students. So to get started, it's really easy. You just go to lbq.org and let's see. Today I'm about to do math with my students. We're going to be doing area and perimeter. So I'm going to go to the math section and then I'm going to type in composite shapes. So in our keyword, I'm going to do composite shapes. And all of these question sets come up. And it's perfect because this first one says, hey, how to figure out area and perimeter of all different types of shapes. It's great. I'm going to use this. I'm going to click start. And as soon as I click start, here's what's going to happen. There's going to be a barcode. When the barcode appears, the students will see the barcode, and then all they have to do is enter the barcode on their iPad. Bam, they're ready to go.
So once I have started the task on my computer, I can come over to my iPad and I can see the students' names listed and how they're doing, and it comes back in live time, which is great. So all these green squares tell me they're doing an awesome job, but this red square tells me the student is stuck. And I see that this student has 2 in the red square, which means they've done it wrong twice. So I need to take a look at what they're doing.
Hey buddy, looks like you're stuck on number 2, so let's go ahead and look at this one really quickly. Okay buddy, so you said that in square A, I'm going to have this one side equal to 8. So
I love being able to check and see how the kids are doing. A lot of kids have some red boxes, which lets me know they're not doing well. They don't understand how to solve these problems. I'm going to go help those kids individually. But some kids have lots of green boxes, which means they are flying through the question set. But I noticed a few kids have gotten very far and now they're repeatedly getting the same red box. They're stumped. I'm going to allow those kids to work together on these hard level 4 questions, see if they can come up with a solution together.
Once class is over, one of the things that I love is that I can go back and look at my data and see which questions they missed the most and find out what is it that I need to work on tomorrow to help close those gaps. So it looks like on here, number 5 was one that I noticed they missed a lot. It is one of those dark orange colors, so I'm gonna take a look and I can see that this question here, oh my goodness, was it challenging. It had this whole line down here that said 2x plus 3, and a lot of kids thought that it was only this one side. So this this is something I'm definitely going to get some more questions like this and work on tomorrow so that we can close those gaps.
I love learning by questions so much because when I get a question wrong, it gives me feedback, and it's kind of like a little Miss Wallace, because Miss Wallace can't be everywhere at once. So on the iPad, it gives you steps to the problem to help you get it right.
Another thing that I like is that it has a figure, so I'm a visual learner, so it really helps me throughout the problem.
1.5. At RCA, our entire staff loves learning by questions. What's really cool is that we also love that we get to share it with the world. Each year, 15,000 educators from all over our country come to RCA to sit in our classroom to learn about our methods and then take our methods back to their own schools. We are creating a revolution that's about passion, innovation, and rigor, and learning by questions is an integral part to that. We're so excited that not only we love it, that our students benefit from it, but now we're sharing it with educators from all over our country and around the world so that now more kids can benefit from this amazing program.
What Ron didn't say is that he's a private school. They earn every year the money to run their school from the teaching of teachers. And what he also didn't say is that the selection of children to his school are 1/3 based on academic ability, 1/3 based on very, very, very poor households, and 1/3 based on special needs. And what I can tell you is that nearly every child gets to college, and basically last year they won what scholarships? How much in scholarships?
The eighth graders got $4.2 million in scholarships. We won the National Math Counts competition, so we were ranked #1 in our entire country. And we won super regionals for Lego robotics. 99% of our kids have gone to college. It's incredible.
So what Ron has proved to me, and what drives me, is that our children do have the potential, if only we can develop it. And that's what we are doing.